What's up YouTube? My name is Uncle Smokey, and this is Uncle Smokey Stock Trades. And before I start this video, I would like to say, I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. So please take what I say with a grain of salt, and do your own DD. What is going on today? God, it was a beautiful day. Day after day after day, these last few days have just been fantastic. Increase in volume, steady price movement. It's been great. So let's go ahead and crack into the videos like we always do. Let's start with the indices. Let's go over here. Indices. So today, the SPY finished up 2%, the NASDAQ finished up 2.76%, and the Dow finished up 1.34%. And the VIX did come down another 5%. One thing I do want to point out is yesterday, the VIX did come down as well as all of the indices. The indices actually finished red yesterday, with the exception of the Dow finishing barely up, just a smidgen. But the VIX did come down significantly. So that right there is kind of one of those indicator swaps. Utilizing the VIX as an indicator, it has showed a little bit of divergence with the indices going up and the indices going down and the VIX going down. Basically showing there's going to be a little bit of a battle, and that happened today. Today we did see everything pop and the VIX continue to go down. Now, if you do recall, these last several days I've been calling the NASDAQ bottom. I've also been calling the overall market bottom. I think we are seeing a trend reversal. And let's go ahead and talk about why. First and foremost, every single one of these charts has had a recent break of that 100% retracement line if you were to draw up an extension. So anybody who's new here, I am a Fibonacci trader. There's going to be a lot of new traders stepping in, watching my videos now, just because MMAT has finally hit that uptrend. And we're going to get to that here in just a minute. But the way I work it is I work Fibonacci's, extensions and retracements. Retracement's great for seeing what the stock has done, and an extension's great for seeing what a stock can do, both up and down. You can actually use them both ways. So what we've done was we drew an extension from the very highest point of the SPY and drew it down to the most recent bottom, actual bottom, and then back up to its next peak. And that gives you a great breakdown of where it can go in the downside. Considering we have been in a bear market, we wanted to see where it's going to go down to. Now, the 100% line is what we really want to pay attention to. This is showing you that algorithms took control of the entire SPY and dropped this baby down just the way it needed to. Now, we know that the Fed had a lot to do with that. The Fed has a lot to do with the SPY, the Dow, and the NASDAQ, the overall indices. The central banks, the big banks, they're going to be pulling this thing down to try and help combat inflation, right? That's basically what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of the indices come down due to the inflationary pressures, the geopolitical issues, and all that other stuff, right? Well, what's interesting is they all come down to the exact same levels. I mean, look at that. There's the 100 line, drop, bounce. NASDAQ, there's that 100 line. Drop just barely below it, bounce. It can't be coincidence, guys. It cannot be coincidence that these are happening at the exact same levels. I've drawn up the same lines, the same extensions and retracements. Nothing's different going from the top point to the most recent bottom to the next highest point on every single one of them. So again, like I said, I think I called the bottom, and that was right there. I think we're there. Who knows? Again, I told you it's going to take several days to even weeks to know if the market has actually made its correction, if it's actually going to start moving north. Now, with that being said, if we go ahead on over to the internet and we take a look, okay, first let's look at our map here. Green as can be. Take a look at those semiconductors, guys. Look at this. Let me zoom in a little bit there. NVIDIA, 5.29%. AMD, up almost 9%. TSM, up 3%. Texas Instruments. Yeah, fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic, guys. All right, so anyway, moving over here. The Fed came out and spoke today. Jay Powell did have a speech today. He came out and said a lot of people thought it was really bearish. If you look through here, Powell says Fed will not hesitate to keep raising rates. Powell says Fed has resolved to bring U.S. inflation down. Inflation is much too high. Fed must act, blah, blah, blah. Well, here's one thing that I heard in this thing, and I've briefly listened to it as much as I can, and the one thing I've heard is Powell basically laid out a game plan, almost a final game plan. Yes, he did say he will raise rates if it is necessary, if he deems it necessary to continue increase rate hikes. But what he did lay out is he wanted to try and get us to be at neutral by the end of the year, 2.5%. So if he were to do that, the 50% base point or the 50 basis point the next hike, 50 basis point in July, and then he does 3 consecutive 25 basis point rate hikes, that will put us still at a neutral level by the end of the year. And the market liked that very, very much. It really, really did. As a matter of fact, it showed you how much it Reiki did. Right there. Let's go to a little bit closer of a time frame so you can see that. There's the NASDAQ. All right. So right here is the break of the day. Right here. Powell stopped talking. It bounced again and jumped right back up on top of this Fibonacci line. Right there. Beautiful. And settled there. It liked it very much. Okay? No worries. I think we're there. Only time can tell. Back to the good old internet. And the next thing we want to do is look at the pre-markets to judge where we're going to be going at in the morning. Now, remember, it is only less than 8 o'clock in the evening. There's still a lot of futures trading to go before we even know what could possibly open up like tomorrow. However, if the retail earnings keep coming in good, you're going to see a lot more green in the markets, okay? So, yeah, just keep that in mind. Moving on. Let's talk about Meta. Meta, baby. Meta's better. All right, so today was a phenomenal day. I saw a little bit of stuff on Twitter this morning. Again, I'm at work all day. I can't pay attention to all this during my busy season, but it will be short-lived as far as it goes to the busy season. I'll be back in action on Twitter, hitting it hard just like I was come here in the next couple of months. Plus baseball, all that stuff. All the kids' stuff ends here in the next month and a half or so. So, yeah. Anyway, so what we saw here first thing in the morning, first off, great lead into the day. Jumping back up on top of this retracement line. These lines, these white lines that you see on my screen, they have been here for quite a while. As a matter of fact, if we go out to the 4-hour chart, you can see how long they've been here. All the way back here when we tapped 138 the first time. That's how long these lines have been here. And it shows you how well algorithms trade against these lines. I've never changed them. I've done nothing with them. They're there. These lines are Fibonacci retracement lines. It's that easy to draw them up to see where algorithms are going to try and put the stock. Now, this is just support and resistance lines that are basically mapped out for you. It does not necessarily mean that this is exactly how the stock is going to follow, but this is a great way for you to be able to see bounce points. All right, back over to that 5-minute chart before we get back into this. So, as I said before, we came down, we respected this 78.6% retracement line, which is from the very last channel that we were in, the 138 to the 225 channel, right? And we bounced off of it, right back up to the 61.8% retracement level, and then traded there, consolidated there for quite a while. As soon as Powell was done talking, right here, look what happened. We soared, guys. It went north by northeast. There you go. It went north by northeast, and it did it beautifully. I'm very pleased with the price action we saw today. Now, we're going to get into the Ortex numbers of it. We're going to get into the talk of the squeeze and everything else. I'm hearing a whole lot of stuff, and I want to try and calm some people down, calm some thoughts and some expectations down before everybody starts going nutso crazy. That's what I do, right? I calm the masses. All right, Sprite. We're going to get there one day. Sprite's going to be a sponsor of mine. I love Sprite. LeBron James loves Sprite too. My nose itches. Somebody wants to fight. Did I get it right this time? Anyway. All right. So today on Twitter, I put out a tweet saying, let's see what we have learned. Let's go to the 1-hour chart. Let's go to the 4-hour chart. Pull up your 50 MA. Pull up your 200 MA. And tell me what you see. I didn't get anybody to tell me what they see. In fact, I got a lot of people saying, well, I don't know what I see. Tell me what I see. What is it? Well, here's what you're going to see. Here's the 1 hour, and this is what's important. So this red line right here is the $1.10 line. This line right here is the $1 line. As you can see, we made a tap at that $1 line. It was 103. We'll call it $1 though. We can round down. That's okay. So we tested the $1 line, and basically that is where we made our reversal. The shorts have brought this thing down. They made their final push down in this last run down from that $2 channel that we were in up here. This is all major shorting coming down, and we knew this was going to happen. As a matter of fact, John Burda even came out and said, watch out for the short distort. It's on its way, and it did. It came. And we're going to get to where that may have come from here in just a minute. So anyhow, when it made that tap, it almost basically made the switch. Also, right after that, Meta came out with their patent information. That was a sentiment changer. When the company that has been given short and distort reports and litigation like crazy, all kinds of frivolous SEC investigations and lawsuits and all that stuff, when they come out with a patent saying, hey, guess what? All this stuff you said it isn't real is, and here's our proof, this is what you get. This is exactly what you get. But what you also get is the indicator to follow through with it. This is the golden cross. And this is the golden cross we have been waiting for. The reason why we've been waiting for this golden cross is because we've been beat down for so long. But the reason why this is such a great indicator as far as the golden cross goes is look at where the MACD is at. Yes, the RSI is hot, but the RSI can cruise hot. It can cruise hot for quite a long time because it's not always hot in this time frame. But the MACD moving up with it the way it did, showing a golden cross all the way back here, it got confirmation from the MAs right here. Now, moving out to the 4-hour chart, here's what's interesting about this. Again, we've got the golden cross in our MACD right down here, huge green histogram bars. We've got the MACD cruising above the signal line. We do have a very hot RSI, but again, like I just said, it can stay hot. The RSI is an indicator that can remain in the upper levels just as same as it can remain in lower levels. We've been beat down so long we forgot what being hot was, right? Well, here's the most important part. Look at where it sits. On the 4-hour chart, we have mounted, tested, and proven the 200 MA. That is very, very bullish. Not only that, but the 50 MA is hooking hard to the 200 MA on this long time frame. When you start seeing the stock price mount the 200 MA, that signals right there in this distant time frame, that signals a reversal. That's reversal, guys. We have just hit an uptrend as of yesterday at noon. We hit an uptrend right there, baby. Huge, big old, green, fat dildo of a candle. Yeah, baby. It ate us up and took us on. We're going beyond. Now, again, like I did say just a little while ago, let's not get too big. Let's not get too conceited. We've got to control our emotions because hedge funds, market makers, and algorithms, they trade off of those emotions. We don't want to show them that we know that we're winning. We want to show them our game face. We really do because they do have ammunition. They do have the ability to bring this thing down. One thing I also want to take note of on the 4-hour chart, it did end with a doji candle, generally just meaning a little bit of indecision. So again, like I said, you could see a little bit of downward pressure. We have seen a solid 1, 2, 3, 4 straight green days. We haven't seen that in quite a while. We've forgot what it felt like. So again, we have also hit a crucial level of resistance, support and resistance right here. This is the 50% retracement line, $1.68. This is going to show up as strong. 50%. It's just as strong on the downside as it is on the upside, okay? So just keep that in mind. Moving on out to a longer time frame, we're here at the 1 day. This is amazing. Again, golden cross right down here, MACD hanging over the signal line. It sounds like I'm repeating myself, doesn't it? Because even on the longer time frames, we are mounting the crucial indicators. We're doing everything right. It's hitting all of the freaking numbers, man. It's there. It's there. We're seeing it right before our eyes. All right. And again, I don't want to say it's a short squeeze. It's not. It's a reversal. The companies have realized that we're a real company that's going to make a difference, okay? And that's what I feel. I don't think that there's any short coverage right now. You're going to see why here in a minute. All right, here we go. So, as you can see, histogram, huge, green bars, just increasingly getting better and greener. You've got the RSI just cruising on by. At 65.98, we are not even hot yet. We haven't even touched overbought yet. And that's fantastic. That means we've got a lot of room to go. So again, like I did say, we could see a small pullback, but I'm not expecting for us to come crashing down like we have before. I really do think that we're set. We're on our way. As a matter of fact, this here is the 50 MA on the 1 day. If we can open and close above this line, that to me is the most bullish indicator you can possibly have. You've opened and closed above your 50 MA with the MA moving up towards the 200. The next bullish indicator we'll have is all the way up here when we get up into this area of that $2.88 mark. Like I said in the previous, the 288 is our line in the sand. 288 is going to basically make every short position that's brought us down below that level very sweaty. It's going to make them hurt a lot. And then it's going to start putting some pressure on the next level of shorts, which are the original shorts, the shorts from when the company first started trading on the NASDAQ. And it's going to start incorporating into the torch shorts shortly after that. So just keep that in mind. Once we start getting up into here, and also you'll notice that this 200 is coming down to that line. If we keep up the momentum, we keep up the volume, there is a very good chance that that 200 MA could meet that $2.88 mark as we start to cross it here in the very near future. Moving on out to the weekly time frame, not a whole lot of information happening right here, except for the fact that we are continuing to see that RSI lift. We're still seeing the MACD lift, again, over the signal line. It's another freaking time frame where the MACD is on our side. That's right. It's very important that that is that way. It's very important that the RSI is moving north, and it's even more important to see that we are moving green candles weekly. It's great. It's great. It's freaking fantastic. Guys, we're there. All right, so first thing we want to cover, take a look-see. Now, I look at Ortex literally every single day. And this morning was no different. Neither was anything over the weekend. In fact, I put out a video on Sunday, and this wasn't there. On May 14th, there was a short squeeze put out, according to Ortex. There's really no information here other than there's a recommended holding day of 10. I had not seen that until just now. However, today, we got a short squeeze type 3. It is a buy rating and a recommended holding days of 22 with a mean return of 14.37. So, we have recently seen more short squeeze triggers. We've seen that as, let's see, we saw that again on the 18th and the 16th. Very similar time frame differences. All right. Now, the next thing we're going to look at, of course, is the main Ortex page. So, utilization is still at 100%, as it has been since February the 14th. Cost to borrow has moved up to 29.69%. There is currently 11.24 days to cover, which would be covering all of the shares on loan, which as of we know is 57.03 million shares on loan. Free float on loan is 22.19%, which we know that is not exactly correct, just because of the institutional holdings that are actually insiders, which that is going to be addressed here in just a moment, and I think Ortex will be catching up here very soon. The value of the estimated short interest that Ortex has, estimated short interest is 47.25 million shares, is currently $74.65 million. That's a big increase of about, $10 million overnight. That's right, guys. It's getting pretty damn expensive to short this stock. 92.84 on the short score. Cost to borrow max today was at 378.6%. That is pretty damn high, if I do say so myself. The average is at 290% with a minimum of 1.9%. Ignore that. Anyhow, return shares and borrowed shares were basically flat overall today. They were just exchanging it. The borrowing of and returning of shares was just an exchange, probably between short hedge funds, more than likely. Nothing more to talk about right there, but here's what is interesting. Take a look. 92.27 days currently held on loan. That is the average number of days short positions have been holding their shorts long. 92.27 days. As soon as we can get some more information on the security lending volume, it is just all over the place. It's very sporadic. We'll start covering that a little bit more. Anyway, moving on to Fintel. Fintel's got a lot of great information for us today. So as you can see right here on the very top, the short interest percent of the float has increased. They are actually starting to count some of those insider shares, some of the institutional shares that need to be counted for as insiders. So also, they're accounting for some of the other stuff as well, like the options held and things like that. Anyhow, 96.58 out of the 100 percentile, which we are now number 5 on the short squeeze score. And I've actually had this question asked to me: what are the other shortable? What are the other top short tickers? Well, here you go. VTNR is the number 1. I've been shouting about VTNR a couple weeks now. I actually posted on my Discord almost a month ago. If you're in my Discord, you guys have made, well, at least have had the ability to make 100% returns since I've shouted it out. I think we're at 100% returns today. That's only over the course of a few weeks, all right? Also, if you'd like to know how I spotted VTNR, all you have to do is go find my FinViz scanner video, and that is how I do it. I scan for tickers almost every single day. Some days I find the ones that are really worth a while, and I'll toss them out on my Discord, and generally we're pretty profitable. I've had most of them. I'd say I'm about 80% right now win rate. The rest of them, with the other 2 I think that were losses, really weren't too bad. And if you paid attention to my posts, you're able to set a stop loss and get snuffed out before you had too much damage to your portfolio, really, in all honesty. Anyway, done talking about that. Back over to Meta. Oh, right down here. Short share availability. Tripping over my tongue today, guys. Short share availability. Currently, there are only 1,000 shares available to be lent from a leading prime brokerage. 1,000. That's it. No more. We got this. We own this. Even with all of the returning of shares that we saw today, the 700,000 shares, then they reborrowed those 700,000 shares. At the most today, all we saw was 35,000 shares available to be lent from this prime brokerage. They can't do it. We've got it locked down. I'm telling you right now, we've got it locked down between the insiders and us. We have it. And then when MMAX comes out and that all starts converting, look the fuck out, man. Look out. Look out. Not to mention the fact that we still have a huge catalyst on the horizon with MMTLP. Once we start seeing dividend numbers, we see the conversion of the ticker moving over to Oilco. As we know, the audit is done. Of course, if you want to talk, all this stuff, go talk to Pidge. The bird lady, she is the queen of the divvy. She knows all about this stuff. So, and update really quick. We are going to be having a interview with John Berta. I got the okay today. So it's just a matter of now of getting the questions over, and it looks like it's going to be happening in the very near future. We'll update everybody shortly. Anyway, moving on. This video is getting long because I keep rambling on. Anyway, short borrow fee rate. As of today, the start was 163%, minimum of 141, latest 141. No big deal. They're showing from this brokerage, this small number of data sets, that their short borrow fee came down a smidgen. It still doesn't show you anything like what Ortex has at 378%. Just showing you that they get their data from different data sets, from different clearinghouses, and it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to see different data from the different places. Anyhow, moving on down. Okay, so we do have a little bit of update from the FINRA. That's great. Let's hit refresh just to make sure it's all accurate. Yeah, okay, good. FINRA volume today was 3,679,000 in volume. On just under 8 million, that was a little more than half of the overall volume today, was done through the dark pool. But only 46% of that volume was short. Again, we are now on the 5th day in a row where they have not shorted us 50% or more. Again, that's where I say I think we're starting to see the table turn. They might finally start be easing up, and short positions might start going long. Moving on. Oh, wait. I wasn't done yet. Did this update yet? It did! We got failures to deliver! All right. We've been waiting for quite a while for this to update. The last update we had was all the way back here, and now we finally have got April. But we've only got the last half of April, interesting enough. We're missing, most literally, the very first part of the month. Where did that go? Anyway, we got quite a few FTDs that have been reported over the course of the last several weeks. I'd be willing to bet there's a lot more than that up in this area as well. I wonder if we can find that really quick. Let's bring up our failures to deliver. Look at that. His Ortex still doesn't even have that updated as of yet. Huh. I'll try and get to the bottom of that. Anyhow, like I was saying, we do have a ton of failures to deliver here. It looks to me several $1 million worth of failures to deliver, to be honest. These are pretty astronomical numbers. We haven't seen numbers like this in a very long time. All of this down here, look at this. This is piddly fucks compared to some of this stuff. 29,000, 99,000. The last half of April, you consecutively seen well over 150,000 or more, most of them ranging over 300,000 in FTDs on a daily basis. That is freaking insane. So, what is a failure to deliver? Easy enough. So, a failure to deliver is when the seller with the short position does not own all or really any of the stock. And they're required at settlement to do so. When they cannot do that, they get a failure to deliver. When they can't physically say, okay, I've got the stock, even though I sold it short, I now bought it and I own it, well, here you go. They can't do that. And when that happens, they get this. They get a failure to deliver. There's a ton of them here. A ton of them, proving to you that the manipulation is huge. And over the course of the last half of last month, it was astronomically huge. I cannot wait to see what the very first half of the month looked like. Let's go back to the ticker. All right, so when you really want to know, go to your 1 day, get rid of all of these lines because that's craziness, and let's find the date. Well, that's January. All right, so we went to April right here. So this is April 1st, right here. We have done nothing but come down since then. We're only getting the data from here. Here. From here down. That's it. I would love to know what this data is right here. How many FTDs were involved in this stretch? That's what I want to know. This right here, this move from here to here was basically from the time John Berta came out and said, hey, short and distort, and it's also been nothing but straight manipulation. The FTDs prove it. The FTDs prove that this whole section, this whole entire strip right here was nothing but pure manipulation, the last ditch attempt, the last effort to bring us down, to shake out all of us diamond-handed apes, which didn't work, to bring us, to take the stock to nothing. And they didn't do it. They failed. George and Meta was able to bring out a good enough PR, the patent, which was huge for GlucoWise, which is probably one of the greatest inventions of our time when it comes down to medical sensing equipment, just in time. Just in freaking time. There's a plan in the works, and it is now on the way. Baby, I can feel it. Let's freaking go. Yeah. All right. Sorry for all the rambling. I've just been so hyped these last few days. It's unreal. All right. Got to move on. All right, back to the internet. So, moving on past failures to deliver. We did that. Okay, so here's what we want to talk about. A lot of institutions have been buying and selling. So right here is the buyers. Right here is the sellers. As you'll notice, you've got Jane Street on the top of both of them. We are also going to talk about State Street here. Jane Street, they have increased their put positions. Now, people are saying, oh man, this is great. This is just happening right now. You got to remember, guys, this did not just happen. Whenever this gets filed, this is file date today. The effective date right here is what you're actually looking at. It was effective as of March 31st, okay? So this is their share change, by the way, not their call options, but you could probably figure it's going to be in that same time frame. Anywho, so effective date was actually at the end of March when their put position increased. Back to the ticker. The put position increased effectively at the end of March. Right here. Motherfuckers. That's right, guys. Jane Street. I've called it from the freaking beginning. They are one of our biggest shorters. No joke. One of our biggest. Moving back over to this. All right, so look what happened. State Street, they increased their position. I wonder why. It's not because they're bullish on the stock. It's because they had to. They are the largest lending clearinghouse that holds our ticker. The largest lending clearinghouse. State Street owns the frickin' world, people. Them, BlackRock, Vanguard, and Jane Street. They own the damn world. If they're holding a position in your company, a company like this, there's a really good chance that they don't know anything about it. They're just holding these shares to borrow it to help the hedge funds drag it down. They have their own interest involved. Just remember, if they're lending these shares out, they're lending them out at 376% cost to borrow annually. 376% cost to borrow annually. Okay? 92 days held, short positions held long. Collect 376% on top of that. Wow! Whoa! Whoa! Oh, at the cost that they were borrowed at, by the way. At the cost that they were borrowed at. Okay? So if these stocks were borrowed at $7, it's 376% of that. Oh, you guys didn't know that. Sorry. Yeah, it's 376% of the cost that they were borrowed at, not at what it's sitting at, okay? So just keep that in mind, that they're making money, tons of it, millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. As a matter of fact, if you were to go ahead and look right over here, their reported value is, according to Jane Street right now, was $324,000. But if you go to, or I'm sorry, $3,240,000. But if you go back over here, when they, oh, I'm trying to find it. I know I just seen it. Where is it, Smoke? Where is it? Oh, goodness gracious. Just show me where they made like $6 million. Oh, wait, no. That was Susquehanna. Shoshana. All right, there we go. All right, Susquehanna. $6.8 million. Right? They just dropped their put positions. Right here. The other day. Let's see, when was it? When was it effective? When was it effective when they sold their puts? Oh, it's not going to tell you that, is it? Man, that's pretty close, though. This is going to be their shares, not their call options. It says 331. Again, shows you right there that that's another one of our major short positions. Oh, and here's another thing. While we're looking at it. When you see puts and calls, right, they're hedging. Now, one thing that you want to notice is they're very confident that this thing's going to go south. Look how many puts they have compared to their calls. They're very confident. Susquehanna is, again, one of our largest short positions. Now, yes, I know Jane Street does have calls. They did just reduce a bunch of them. Going back over to here. Right there. Jane Street. Their puts are a little bit lower. So they do have higher calls than they do puts. However, they've been recently reducing their call positions. And again, that's a great way for them to hedge their position out. Companies can actually short the stock and make it look like it's doing worse than it is in the options chain. It's another way for them to also draw down squeezes too. So just keep that in mind in other tickers. If a ticker has an options chain and you think that it's squeezable, you might want to look to the options chain first. All right, moving on. Oh, by the way, our options chain isn't volatile enough for them to be able to do squat with it right now. It really isn't. So that's really not a worry at the present moment in time. However, if we start seeing those gamma movements again, that's when you want to start considering looking at your options chain. What's happened on the put side? What's happened on the call side? You know, what is the overall volatility? Where's delta sitting? Things like that. Anyway, moving on. We did that. We didn't do this yet. Let's do this. This is Chart Exchange. We love Chart Exchange. Oh, they've got nothing for us. Still sitting at about 46.52% overall short volume. Finally, last but not least, this really long video is almost coming to an end. Thank you for sticking with me if you've made it to the end. If you did, I appreciate you. I really, really do. I ramble sometimes. I apologize. Anyway, MetaMaterials appoints Dr. Rajaram. Haha, I said it. As Chief Marketing Officer. Delaware High Performance Functional Materials Nanocomposites today announced the appointment of Dr. Raj as Chief Marketing Officer. He brings more than 25 years of experience in numerous highly profitable successes as a senior global marketing and commercial operations executive with public and private companies across multiple industries, along with experience spearheading due diligence and integration of acquisitions in North America and across Europe. Through Dr. Rajaram's leadership, I look forward to seeing the transformation of the marketing function from a cost center to a revenue-generating engine, said George Palikaris, President and CEO. You know what I like about George? You could tell he's such a regular guy. How often do they say doctor? I mean, seriously, he's not referred to as Dr. Palikaris very often. We always see George or George Palikaris. He's such a nice guy. You can tell. He just, don't call me doctor, you know? Anyway, with a strong scientific background and broad experience in marketing and commercial operations, Dr. Rajaram is ideally suited to lead Meta's marketing efforts as we begin to commercialize breakthrough applications across multiple markets. I look forward to working with him to grow a leading position in meta materials at the component level through increasing vertical integration. He will be responsible for building and strengthening Meta's brand, supporting growth strategies, cultivating opportunities in new and existing markets, and increasing demand for Meta's products and solutions globally. Meta will invest in the newest marketing technology to build a world-class digital marketing infrastructure. Dr. Rajam's most recent Senior Vice President Global Marketing with Protective Industries, where he led global strategic growth with a focus on digital marketing, e-commerce, and global expansion, both organically and through M&A, while developing a structured process for continuously improving profitability. And that's exactly what you need on your team when you're trying to sell a product. You need somebody who knows how to sell a product. You need them to be able to lay out a plan, contact investors, know what investors you need to contact, basically from start to finish, know every step, every piece, every scrap bit of information they could know. The chief marketing officer basically is going to structure the entire way Metamaterials sells their product. What kind of everything, commercialization, packaging, brand packaging, logoing, all of it. That's what they do. It's fun. Good stuff. All right, and then finally, the last thing. Oh, before I finish that, welcome. Dr. Raj, welcome to the team. I'm sure you're going to be a fantastic asset to Metamaterials in the upcoming future. It's going to be great. I look forward to meeting you, sir. Gardner Wade. This guy is awesome. He's a futurist. He really believes in the future. I think me and him, we would probably get along great because I love the future. If you guys haven't been able to tell, I got my head in the clouds. I think that we've got some great things happening, and I think Meta's going to be at the epicenter of it all. Anyway, Meta, optical scientists plus Meta's AR Fusion plus Covestro's HX equals world's highest resolution, lightest weight, best contrast, brightest imaging, RX ready, on demand, lowest energy, longest battery life, augmented reality HUD solutions. Get your spacesuit AWE. And damn it, I can't go. But I am planning on CES. Yes, this year I'm going to do CES as far as I know. AWE just didn't happen. I'm sorry. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I want to be there. I know there's something. I know something's going to roll out at AWE. And I'm going to miss it. Anyway, hint, Vaunt Superlight Tech. As a matter of fact, if you Google Vaunt Superlight Tech, there's a video. It's a great video explaining what that is. So feel free. I'm not going to play it on here. For one, I'll get demonetized. And two, it's about 8 minutes long. Anyhow, if you go ahead and click on this one here that Gardner has included, it takes you over to here to Covestro's Solution Center. New possibilities for volume holographic optical elements. Basically explaining everything he had just said with the Bayfoil HX films, new solutions and multiple applications possible, including thin, lightweight, and transparent displays, as well as light guiding spectral filters and anti-counterfeit products for brand protection solutions. Now, the product that he's talking about over here, this Vaunt Superlight Tech, this is actually a set of glasses that are similar looking to the Google glasses. Maybe it's actually it looks more like just a pair of glasses, to be honest. But on the inside, if you look in here, you would notice that there is a bump out here. Well, on the inside of those glasses, there's that same bump out, but in that bump out, you've got this laser, this low-powered laser that's perfectly harmless, right? It's harmless. And what it does, it bounces off the inside of the lens and right into your eye. And it allows for you to be able to see its small display down in the bottom corner of the lens. But at the same time, it does not interfere with your vision. As a matter of fact, if you're not looking directly at it, you don't even know it's there. That's one of the, I think, the most important parts of that, because if you see this thing all the time, there's a chance that it could actually affect you in your day-to-day life. It could even so much as get in the way. You could literally walk into things, run into things when you're driving down the road, because there's something that's actually interfering with your vision. This does not do that. Unless you're physically concentrating on it, you don't actually see it. And also, you don't have to worry about touching things. It's got the ability to, like, so say you want to answer a call. swipe right. You want to end a call, swipe left. You know, just subtle movements will allow for you to actually be able to work these pair of glasses. And I'm quite curious if Gardner's saying that we are going to be involved. That would be freaking awesome. Also down here, Ben Hem, make sure you guys are going to find this guy. This guy just jumps all over everything. He is an amazing guy. He found this right here. It's called the Holy Grail. Remember, George has talked about the Holy Grail before. This could be it. Gigantic smart glasses Holy Grail. I'm going to put a link to this in the description of this video. Feel free to go in and read it. Amazing stuff right here. Look at this. Oh, what are we? Yeah. Guys, we are going to be huge. We're going to be everywhere. And MetaMaterials is dropping subtle hints all over the place to let us know that we are going to be everywhere. Right now, they're focusing on the AR Fusion stuff because that is what's coming up. We've got AWE. So they're showing you, hey, take a look at the AR Fusion stuff. I can't wait to see what's coming from AWE. And then also, keep in mind, we've got CES coming up at the end of the year. And that's, like I said, that's what I'm really trying to go for. I think I'm done talking for one night. I've freaking rambled on for way too long. We're already 41 minutes in, and I'm done. So, yeah, like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Make sure these videos get out to your friends and family. MetaMaterials is on the freaking way, guys. Oh, hang on. Yeah, okay, we're done. Peace.